The Dyatlov Pass Incident, the unsolved mystery that still haunts Russia. Imagine hiking into a frozen mountain with 9 experienced friends. You are young, healthy, and fully prepared for one of the toughest expeditions of your lives. But a few weeks later, rescuers discover your tent ripped open from the inside. Your footprints lead into the darkness, barefoot. Some bodies are found frozen beneath a tree. Others are discovered months later with horrifying injuries, crushed ribs, fractured skulls, and one victim is even missing her tongue. No signs of another person's footprints. No evidence of a struggle. No clear explanation. More than 65 years later, the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Welcome to Mysteries of History. If you enjoy true historical mysteries and unexplained events, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Expedition. It was January 1959. A group of 10 experienced hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute in the Soviet Union set out on a skiing expedition across the northern Ural Mountains. Their leader was Igor Dyatlov, a skilled and respected mountaineer. The goal was to reach Mount Otertan, a challenging but achievable destination. The group included engineers, students, and outdoor experts. Every member had extensive winter hiking experience. Early in the journey, one member, Yuri Yudin, became ill and decided to return home. It was a decision that unknowingly saved his life. The remaining 9 hikers continued into one of the coldest and most isolated regions in Russia. None of them would ever return. Chapter 2. They disappear. The hikers were expected to send a telegram once they completed their journey. Days passed. Then weeks. No message arrived. Families became worried. Eventually, rescue teams were organized. On February 26th, searchers made a shocking discovery. The group's tent was found on the eastern slope of a mountain, later named Dyatlov Pass in honor of Igor Dyatlov. The tent was partially buried in snow. Even stranger, it had been cut open from the inside. It appeared the hikers had escaped in panic. Most of their warm clothing, boots, food, and supplies were left behind. Outside the tent, investigators found footprints leading down the mountain. Some footprints belonged to people wearing socks. Others were barefoot. The temperature that night had dropped below -25°C. Walking into the darkness without proper clothing was almost certain death. Why would experienced hikers do that? Chapter 3. The First Bodies. About 1.5 kilometers from the tent, rescuers found 2 bodies beneath a large cedar tree. They wore only light clothing. Nearby, there were signs that someone had tried to start a fire. Broken tree branches suggested they had climbed high into the tree, possibly to look back toward the campsite. Between the tree and the tent, rescuers found 3 more bodies. Among them was Igor Dyatlov himself. It looked as though they had attempted to return to the tent, but collapsed in the freezing snow. The official cause of death for these 5 hikers was hypothermia. But the mystery had only begun. Chapter 4. The horrifying discovery. Months later, when the snow melted, rescuers found the remaining 4 hikers inside a nearby ravine. What they discovered shocked investigators. Some victims had massive chest fractures. Others had severe skull injuries. One woman, Lyudmila Dubinina, was missing her tongue. Yet, there were almost no external wounds. Experts compared the force of the injuries to that of a high-speed car crash. Even stranger, some clothing showed traces of radioactive contamination. No one could explain why. The Soviet investigation concluded with a vague statement. The hikers had died because of a compelling natural force. No further explanation was provided. The case was closed. Chapter 5. Theories. For decades, countless theories have attempted to explain what happened. Theory 1. Avalanche. One possibility is that a small avalanche struck the campsite. The hikers quickly escaped the tent to avoid being buried. However, critics point out that the slope was relatively gentle. The tent was still standing. There was no massive avalanche debris. Theory 2. Military testing. Some believe the hikers accidentally entered a secret Soviet military testing area. Witnesses reported mysterious glowing orange lights in the sky around the same time. Could they have encountered experimental weapons? The Soviet government's secrecy fueled these suspicions.
However, no conclusive evidence has ever confirmed this theory. Theory 3. Infrasound. Another idea suggests that unusual wind conditions created powerful low-frequency sounds called infrasound. These sounds may have caused panic, confusion, or extreme psychological distress. Although scientifically possible, there is little direct evidence that this occurred on that night. Theory 4. Wildlife or human attack. Could another person or a dangerous animal have attacked the hikers? Investigators found no signs of a struggle. No additional footprints were discovered. This theory remains unlikely. Theory 5. Snow slab. In 2021, researchers proposed that a delayed snow slab collapse may have forced the hikers to flee and caused some of the severe injuries. Computer simulations suggested this was physically possible. While many experts consider it the strongest natural explanation, not everyone agrees it answers every question. Chapter 6. The investigation today. Modern forensic studies have solved some parts of the mystery, but not all. Most experts now believe the hikers likely left the tent because they feared a dangerous snow event. Hypothermia then became the primary cause of death for most of the group. The severe injuries suffered by several hikers may have resulted from being crushed in a snow-filled ravine. However, questions remain.
Why were some clothes radioactive? Why did the group leave so suddenly, without proper equipment? Why were some details of the Soviet investigation kept secret? These unanswered questions continue to fascinate historians and mystery enthusiasts around the world. More than 6 decades have passed since that freezing night in the Ural Mountains. The Dyatlov Pass Incident has inspired books, documentaries, films, and endless debate. Perhaps the mystery has already been solved. Or perhaps some secrets remain buried beneath the snow forever. What do you think happened to the Dyatlov hikers? Was it an avalanche, a military experiment, or something we still don't understand? Share your theory in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Mysteries of History, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next investigation. Until next time,
stay curious and keep exploring the mysteries of history.